Hello students, today we discuss the continuation of bryophyta. Last class we discussed about liverworts, that is hepatic apsida. Then already we studied that is sexual reproduction, how a sexual mode of reproduction takes place through gemma cups. Then another one, Anthoceropsida. This Anthoceropsida, the sporophyte, the shape look like a horn and all. That's why it is called as this one, hornworts and all. Anthoceropsida, that is the sporophyte, it look like a horn-like structure, that's why we call it as a hornworts and Anthoceropsida, that is it is a horn-like sporophyte. That's why it is called as hornworts and it is another name we call as hornworts. Here, remember one or two example like Anthoceros as well as Megaceros. Such type of example, only one or two example, it is enough. Why it is horn-like structure, which particular part is horn-like structure. Normally, sporophyte is the horn-like structure. Then another very important one, Bryopsida. This Bryopsida that commonly we call as mosses. Commonly we call as mosses. Here, two particular stages are present, the primary as well as secondary and all. Related to the sporophytic, that is the otherwise we call as gametophyte plant body. The gametophyte plant body is the thalloid one, haploid one, the creeping photosynthetic, and along with this one, it helps for vegetative propagation and all. This gametophytic plant body, primarily it is the thalloid protonema. This thalloid protonema, it will be present. So whatever the spores are present, one particular spore, it will be developed. It will be developed horizontally. This particular structure we call as protonema and all. That's why this gametophytic plant body, primary plant body, this particular body we call as haploid and creeping filamentous. It is filamentous like that structure will be present and along with this one, it is a creeping filamentous, the haploid as well as the green and branched. Some of these one, it may be, it is the branched, it helps for vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, it helps only in the primary, that is the primary thalloid body. That is the protonema is the primary gametophytic body and all. Then later it will be formed into the secondary, that is the leafy like structures. Leafy like structures, that is the septa, it is present, there is the multicellular rhizoids. It will be present, multicellular rhizoids. This is important. Already in the last class, what type of rhizoids we observed in the liverworts and unicellular unbranched and all. Here, the multicellular rhizoids we observed in that secondary gametophytic body and all. This is the primary protonema. In that secondary one, it is the leafy-like structure, which are multicellular rhizoids, which are, it will be present to the erectile, the structure. This is most important. Erectile. It will be present to vertical, not towards that particular soil and all, it will be present, vertical nature will be present under. Erectile with the septa. Septa, it will be present, the particular knot-like structures are present in the septa. But here also, wherever in all type of bryophytes, gametophyte is the independent photosynthetic one, sporophyte is the dependent on that gametophyte. That is common. Please remember, gametophyte is the independent. Because of it is the greenish, it prepare their own food material. Whereas sporophyte is the dependent on the gametophyte and all. Then in this secondary leaf-like structures only, whatever the superficial leaf, superficial cells, here in this one, superficial cells at apical, that apical leafy gametophore, that sex organs are developed and all. Whatever, but here, what type of sex organs normally observed and it is the monoecious. Why? Because within the same organism, one is the male, another one is the female, it will be present. For example, if you observe here, it will be formed leaf-like structures. Not leaf-like structures, it will be present. The terminal part, it is one type of the another one, it is the rhizoid cell. Another, the same, it will be present. One more, suppose this is the female, this is the male. The leaf-like structures, this is the septal, this is the secondary, which are erectile, it will be present. Which are erectile present. From here, it will be formed. That is the seta, that is the food, as well as the capsule, very clearly observable in this particular mosses and all. That is, it will be present, the multicellular rhizoids are present, the apical, the superficial, whatever superficial leafy structures, the apical of this gametophore, it develops, one is the male, another is the female. Because of both male and female reproductive organs like Antheridium, Archegonium, within the same organism, within the same plant and all. That's why it is called as monoecious one. Related to this particular thing, that monoecious, that means bisexual. That means both male and female sex organs are present within the same one. That is, it will be, we observe very clearly in our textbook also, one among the example they have given, like the leaf-like structures. In this one, the capsule. This is the leaf-like structure, not leaf-like. This is the seta, this is the capsule, this is the rhizoid, this is the main axis. This is the main axis, leaf-like structure. There, the capsule is the, from here up to here, this is we called as gametophyte. This is the gametophyte. From here, this is the sporophyte. So, whatever up to leaf-like structure, that is we call as gametophyte, because it prepares their food material. Wherever it will be arises from here, that is we call as sporophyte, depends on the gametophytic structure and all. But within the same, it is the two, it will be present and all. The two sex organs are present, Antheridium as well as Archegonium. That's why it is we called as monoecious organism. It is normally regarded as mosses. Normally regarded as mosses, it is the monoecious one. It acts as a very crucial role for as a source of the food material for mammals as well as birds in other organisms and all. That much very crucial role. These particular mosses organisms and all. Then apart from these particular aspects related to gametophytic plant body as well as related to sporophyte. Just now I said it is differentiated into like food, setae as well as capsule depend on the gametophyte and all. Then apart from this one, in this sporophyte, then before that one, that reproduction in this related to reproduction, Here also male gametes, wherever it will be present male gametophyte, that is antheridium, it produces to the spores and the female gametophyte, that female gamete, that is we call as archegonium. In this antheridium, related to antheridium produces to the gametes, that is the male gamete and the antheridium produces male gamete. Then this male gamete enter into the female gamete and all. Then archegonium, that is the female gamete. Male gamete normally we call as egg. Male gamete we call as anthrozoids. Male gametes we call as anthrozoids. Female gamete normally we call as egg cells and all. Egg cells are present here in this specific manner. Here towards that particular capsule, here the after dispersal of the male gametes from antheridium and all. Then so male gamete fusion with the female gamete. So both are employed, that forms into the zygote. It is the diploid and all. What is the ploidy of zygote? Diploid. Then through mitosis, it will be forms into the embryo. Again mitosis, it will be forms into the sporogonium. Then inside that then it forms into the capsule. Inside the capsule, sporogenous tissue or sporogenous cells. This sporogenous tissue, sporogenous cells, it is normally diploid and all. But here very important, sporogenous tissue, that is group of cells, where it will be present? Endothelium. Sporogenous tissue, it is present the outer layer of endothelium. This is sporogenous, normally it is present here only the outer layer of endothelium. But what is present? Inner layer sterile columella is present. Normally where is present? The capsule part is present. The outer layer, that particular endothelium, related to liverworts also, the truly sporogenous tissues are present, sporogenous cells are present. But here outer endothelium, but inner it will be present columella. Inner columella, this is the sterile one. But outer only it is present. What among this one? It acts as spore mother cell. It is also diploid. Then it forms into the meiosis. Then the haploid spores are formed. That is M. From haploid spores, it develops. Again, the haploid spores develops into the protonema. Then the leaf-like erectile, leaf-like structures. Like this completely it develops and all. But here, very important, one particular, this part will be present, but here elaters, that is another important, elaters are absent. Whereas Rixia also elaters are absent. That means dehiscence of the capsule, that is regular and all. Dehiscence of capsule, that is the regular through air current. With the help of air, it will be dispersal. Whatever the haploid spores are present, wherever moist environment and shadow area and all, they are ready to develop and all. First protonema, thyroid and all. The secondary one, it develops into the leaf-like structures. Leaf-like structure of this organism, that is mosses, it will be developed towards the erectile nature. But total one, it is the haploid one. Wherever sporophyte, then only it is the diploid one. Suppose male gamete haploid, female gamete haploid, zygote onwards only diploid. Embryo also, embryo also diploid, sporogonium also diploid, capsule, whatever the cells inside that is also diploid, sporogonium, spore mother cells also diploid through meiosis. Here meiosis process it will be takes place and all. Then towards the capsule, it is the peristomial teeth are present. In that capsule, in that particular capsule, if we observe, the peristomial teeth are present. It is the operculum. This is the peristomial teeth. So whenever folding, whenever contraction, it will be closes. Whenever relaxation, whatever this pores inner part, so it will be dispersal. Why? Because here elaters are completely absent. This is the capsule part. This is the capsule part. So wherever capsule part, the terminal part of this capsule part, it will be present for understanding purpose. So like this, it will be present here. Here it will be present in this capsule part. This is the peristomial teeth are present. There it ready to disperse. Why? Because the elaters are completely absent here. Because of absence of this one, it ready to dispersal. Wherever moist the particular soil, they dispersal. So like this simple life cycle it will be takes place related to the mosses, but very important. There are two stages are present: primary progonium, secondary leaf-like erectile thalloid one. There is no leaf, there is no stem, there is no particular roots and root-like rhizoids, as well as stem-like whatever septa, it will be present, as well as another very important part, leaf-like foliages are present and like this it will be present. But dependent part is the sporophyte, independent part is the gametophyte. So remember very carefully. But what is the example? Examples are most important related to that mosses and most important in examples. What is the examples of the mosses and very most important? That is this is the example: sphagnum, as well as funaria, then polytrichum. These are in the sphagnum, otherwise commonly we call as peat moss, as well as bog moss, as well as cotton moss. Then funaria we call as that common moss or green moss. So whatever in our textbook they have given funaria only, as well as sphagnum also they have given. Then polytrichum we call as that cap-like moss. It is the eric cap moss. It will be present. So this is the common names. But many times they have given this example and which one we call as this one peat moss, which one we call as the common or green moss, which one we call as this eric cap moss and that is the polytrichum and Now another very important one. What is the economic importance of these bryophytes? What is the economic importance? Already said. Some of these bryophytes, it is useful for source of the food material, as well as it is the maximum water holding capacity. This particular one, that's why to prevent soil erosion, the main economic importance. The economic importance of the bryophytes and it is the main one, source of food material. So normally mosses as a source of food material for herbaceous mammals. Herbaceous mammals, birds, and other organisms. So which particular organism of bryophyte it will be act as a source of food material if they give options hornworts, bryophytes, bryopsida, hepatic opsida. Then you read bryopsida. That means mosses only, it acts as very crucial role. Then source of fuel. Which one act as a source of fuel? Especially the sphagnum. That is sphagnum, that means peat moss. It is source of especially methane. The source of the methane, it acts as this one, fuel and all. Then along with this one, another very important one, that whatever this location, the transportation of this one, living, it is helpful for transport of this one, that particular living things and all, especially fruits as well as vegetables. Which one useful? That is also sphagnum. So sphagnum, that is the peat moss, act as an important role of a transportation of the living things like fruits as well as related to vegetables and all. Why? Because why? For long distance means either Delhi to Mumbai to any Hyderabad, like this long distance towards the trains, everything and all, without destroying, it will be present in a natural manner itself. Why? Because maximum water holding capacity and all. Then these are this one along with the lichens. These are the primary colonies formation of the rocks and all. Along with the lichens, these are formation of colonies on rocks. So that is also very important. On rocks, it forms into the colonies along with the lichens. Who is the primary? That means we call as lichens as well as bryophytes. We call as pioneers on the rocks and all. Pioneer means the primary agent, the primary living things and all, which are present on the rocks. It formation of the rocks and all. Along with the lichens, it acts as this one, pioneers and all. Then, apart from this one, to prevent soil erosion. How to prevent soil erosion? Related to these particular bryophytic organisms and all, because of it is a dense mat-like structure. It will be covered dense mat-like structure on this dense mat-like structure on land. That's why to prevent soil erosion, because of this, the dense mat-like structure which are present on the land. That's why on that particular land area, it will be present the dense mat-like structure present on the soil. That's why it will be soil erosion, it will be controlling and all. Apart from this one, it will be decompose on rocks, especially rocks. Because of the withering of the rocks, wherever withering of the rocks, because of these particular bryophytes and all, it develops maximum that humus, that fertile soil and all. Then automatically it helps to develop higher plants and all. It helps to develop higher plants. So whenever decompose means, that means withering. Whenever slowly, collectively withering that particular rocks and all, then it will be decomposed. Whenever decomposed, then increase the fertility of the soil. Whenever fertility of the soil, then it ready to produce that particular higher plants and all. So that is most important related to the economic importance. Economic important, remember very carefully which type of specific bryophytes, it acts as a source of the food material. That too mosses plants. which type of the moss plant it helpful for source of the fuel and all. That is the sphagnum. Sphagnum only helpful for transportation for long distance without destroying, without it will be decomposing and it will be persist living nature only. That is related to vegetables as well as the fruits, such type of things for long distance and all, because of maximum water holding capacity it will be present and all. So like this variously it is present soil erosion, first colonies along with lichens, that's why it's called as a pioneer organisms and all, as well as decomposing of rocks because of increase the fertility of this one to develop a higher plants and all. Then very most and all, remember in this particular chapter and all, a gametophyte is the dependent one, haploid nature. Whereas sporophyte is the diploid one, it is the dependent on the gametophyte and all. In this one, what are the parts are present in that sporophyte? Food is, it absorbs nutrients, everything from gametophyte. Then setae, it conducting whatever absorbing and all. Then capsule, through meiotic division, formation of the spores only. Okay? Elaters are present in Bryopsida. Elaters are absent in Bryopsida. Elaters are present in, that is liverworts and all. Then if you want Anthoceratopsida, here it is present. Pseudo